Welcome to the On Point for College Utica Celebration 2022, presented by Adirondack Bank. What is On Point for College? On Point for College is a college attainment program helping students get into college, achieve success in college, and find a career after graduation. Since 1999, On Point for College has helped more than 4,000 students earn more than 5,000 degrees. It breaks down barriers that prevent young, underserved individuals from education and career success, transforming communities by making college, training, and career success a reality for those in need. Today, we'll celebrate education, service to your community, overcoming obstacles, giving back, and reaching your potential. Please join me in celebrating these amazing students. Enjoy the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the On Point for College Utica Celebration 2022. I'm Gio Harvey, and I'm so excited to be here. Today, I'm going to share with you stories of other students like me whose life has been shaped by a wonderful program called On Point for College. On Point for College helps first-generation students overcome barriers to higher education. They support students at every step along the way, from application through graduation and beyond. They empower students to fulfill their dreams and achieve their potential. Our first story is brought to us today by Herkimer College. It features Muslima Ali, who came to the United States just at 17 with dreams of going to college and making a difference in the world. Today, she's a graduate of SUNY Plattsburgh and works as an outreach advisor at Mohawk Valley Community College. She's such an inspirational and hardworking person.
Hi, my name is Muslima Ali. I graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh with a bachelor's in criminal justice. I currently work in finance as a junior account associate. I was originally born in Kenya. My parents are Somali, and so I have like a mixture of both those cultures. When we first came to the US, we were placed in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then I went to high school here, and then I also went to Utica College, then I transferred to Plattsburgh. My parents always knew that in order for us to succeed in America, they had to put a lot of effort into us. And what they did was they focused on our schooling. Like, let's say I had like a C on my report card. She'd be like, wow, you're slipping up. Why are you doing that? And then around that time, I got into a charter school. It was a 1-hour ride to school. And then so she used to tell me, like, what's the point of you going that far for school if you're gonna be getting C's? So from an early age, I knew that I had to like focus on my schooling in order to do well because I wanted to make my parents proud. I had friends who were a grade above me, and so I used to talk about college with them, and they told me I had On Point help me out with everything. And so when it was my turn for the college applications, I knew that I needed help with it because my parents, even though they were really supportive when it came to my schooling, they didn't know anything about financial aid, all of that, like including applying for colleges and stuff. And so I reached out to my school counselor back then. She gave me the contact to On Point. Basically, On Point just helped me like start the whole financial aid process, and they even started taking me on college trips as well. It just made everything a lot easier, especially since I was trying to do the SATs and everything, and so I was really happy about that. Back then, I wasn't working, and so On Point taking care of book bags, school supplies, and all that was actually a lot for me because I just wasn't working at that time. If I didn't have, say, like pens for classes, or I didn't have the journals and things for my notes, it would be a bumpy start. But it wasn't because I had those things due to them.
Just thinking about her makes me smile. She's very positive at all times, like no matter what happens. She was smart. She was always getting like 4.0s, all these awards, getting recognized everywhere. I look up to her because I didn't have a sister, and seeing Muslima do all that, like it made me want to like push myself harder. When I first started college, it was just like hard for me to figure out like programs that would help me out, programs that were hands-on and really cared about their students and were willing to help out in any way possible. On Point was introduced to me by Muslimo, and I tried to stay in contact with them as much as possible, and they've helped me a lot.
I would definitely recommend On Point to any student actually, because of how helpful they are. Sometimes people feel like college is only for people who are like super smart and you have to have like certain grades and all that, but honestly, college is for anybody who wants to go, and that's what On Point has shown me. If you want to do it, they will be there to help you out just to get there. A lot of people have that dream, but they have a lot of doubt as well. With On Point, all they need is for somebody to come in with the dream, and they'll make sure it happens.
Wow, what an amazing story. This story gets at the root of what On Point is all about, being there for students at the beginning, but also throughout their college careers and beyond. On Point was there for Musalima at every step along the way. They took her on college tours, helped her fill out college and financial aid applications, provided rides to and from school, visited her on campus, and helped her secure a computer and on-campus housing. These are just some of the things On Point does for many of its students every single day. Our next story, brought to you by Mohawk Valley Community College, features Dwayne Ingram. Dwayne faced numerous challenges along his path to a college degree, but with On Point's help, he was able to graduate from MVCC and the University at Albany, earning a master's degree. Today, he works as a community educator at the YWCA Mohawk Valley.
My name is Dwayne Ingram. I am a community educator here at YWCA Mohawk Valley. I graduated from the University at Albany with my master's in social welfare in 2018. My job is to provide educational programming to youth, either in schools or in any other youth-serving organization in the community. If young people don't have someone to help them build critical thinking skills, I think there's a tendency to just fall in line with what everyone else is doing. You kind of turn into a follower as opposed to a leader. I let all of my young boys know you're not on this journey of manhood alone. So we're basically all in this together. Born and raised here in Utica, I had a long particular position working for a company here in Utica, but I really wanted to just kind of do more than just work the normal job. I knew I could do better. My father challenged me and my siblings, and he told us to go further than what me and your mother did. I think I just took that to heart with me, and throughout my hard work and throughout my drive and my dedication, I think those words were always ringing in the back of my ear. Something just told me, let me see if I can go back to school and really go back and finish what I started years ago. I started out in a program called the Junior Frontiers of the Mohawk Valley here in Utica. That program prepared us for being engaged in our community, preparing us for college, being a better student, because I was in need of help and I was trying to get back into college. And the director of that program told me about On Point, and I went to him, told him what I needed help with, and they basically got me in a program, got me going. Some of the direct items that I was able to receive through On Point. School supplies, number one. I stayed on campus, helped me pay for the housing deposit. Number two, loaned me a laptop, purchased me a pair of glasses. Actual physical, tangible items, all for free, never charged anybody in the community anything. That's how the program's set up. So many people have certain barriers to college degrees, and that's what On Point's job is to really break down those barriers. If you really want to be successful, they will help you. That's extremely important in my mind. I am a first-generation college student, and my education obviously taught me exactly the ways that you can really help people, give them inspiration, advice, encouragement. All of those things came from my field that I was in. There's no question in my mind I wouldn't be here without On Point for College, no question in my mind.
Dwayne is a very bright young man. He's kind. He's always willing to help and wanting to do well, to do good in the world, to make a difference, a positive influence in the life of our youth and our community. Congratulations to his family, because they've done a nice job raising a nice young man.
Because of how much On Point had helped me. I always hoped that in some capacity I would be able to serve them, whether it's volunteering or being an actual employee. During 2020, when COVID first started, the beginning of the year, I was hired by them as a college associate, and I loved it. I thrived in that role. I was instrumental in us creating a more of a drive-by graduation. So all of the college students who was not able to walk the stage because of COVID, we basically kind of drove by each and every one of their houses. We decorated our cars. We told them to come outside with their cap and gowns. We kind of recorded some of them on camera and basically kind of beeped at them to give them some resemblance of a completion ceremony.
Congratulations!
In this day and time we're living in, so many people going through so many things. You have political issues going on. You have so many people just going through so many things on a daily basis. People struggling mentally, anxiety, depression, just doubt. So I just truly hope my story can be an inspiration to somebody. If I can do it, many more people can do it.
Man, Dwayne is just incredible. He's so committed to helping his community, and now he's even landed a job where he can continue to help others. I'm so glad he was able to turn to OnPoint to be his support network, to help him navigate challenges, and to connect him to the resources and services both on and off campus. That's exactly what OnPoint is expert at, being the hub with spokes reaching out in all directions. I remember when I first hooked up with OnPoint. They were so helpful in connecting me to services and the resources that I needed, both on and off campus and out in the community. They even helped me get my first driver's license. How cool is that? If I tried to list all the ways the team at OnPoint helped me out, I would be here all day. That's what's so unique about OnPoint. They meet students wherever they are, whatever their needs are, and they pull out all the stops to help them. In case you're feeling inspired, you can help OnPoint change lives by getting connected or making a contribution at onpointforcollege.org. Before we return to the show, let's take a moment for a few words from our presenting sponsor, Adirondack Bank.
Hi, I'm Michelle Belso, Vice President of Marketing for Adirondack Bank. Adirondack Bank is proud to be a sponsor of the OnPoint for College Utica Celebration. We are honored to support the wonderful work of OnPoint for College, and we are passionate about empowering the education and career dreams of students in our region.
It's so great to have the support of a partner like Adirondack Bank. They're so committed to education and seeing success in the communities they serve. They're just like OnPoint in that way. It's a perfect synergy. For those just tuning in, I'm OnPoint for College student Gio Harvey, and today I'm sharing inspiring true stories of OnPoint for College students like myself who are thriving in the Mohawk Valley community. One of my favorite parts of every celebration event has always been the awards. So without further ado, let's get right to it. First up is the Campus Angel Award. This award is given to an individual at a college or university who has gone above and beyond to help OnPoint for College students overcome challenges and empower their success. This award goes to SUNY Poly's Educational Opportunity Program Director, Melissa Prest. Way to go, Melissa.
Hello, and thank you so much for this award. I am so honored and humbled to receive it. I just want to say how inspired I am by the work that you all do at OnPoint for College, and especially inspired by the students as they navigate through college, excel at college, and beyond. Once again, thank you for this award, and I look forward to continuing to work with you all to achieve all of your goals. Thank you.
Next, we have the Foundation of Hope Award. This award is given to organizations or individuals who have partnered with OnPoint to positively impact our students' lives and communities. It is our pleasure to present this year's award to Frank Giotto and the Tower Foundation. Frank and the Foundation have been amazing partners to OnPoint for College and the students we serve. Next, we have the Dreammaker Award. This award is given to organizations and individuals who, through their leadership, investments, and collaboration, have helped to make educational and career dreams of our students come true. I'm delighted to present this year's award to the Racial Equity and Social Justice Fund of the Community Foundation of the Herkimer and Oneida Counties, as well as to the Foundation's Director of Community Engagement, Olivia Paul, and Trustee Judge Jawad Rashid, who have both personally been great champions of On Point for College. Congratulations to you all.
We are really honored by the award from On Point for College Utica to recognize Jawad Rashid and Olivia Paul for all of their work in our Equity Advisory Group and our neighborhood revitalization and all we do here at the Community Foundation. We are so proud to be a partner with On Point for College Utica, who have helped so many in our community achieve their educational aspirations. We're really honored and we're really grateful for the award. Thank you, On Point for College Utica.
Last but certainly not least is the Make a Difference Award. This award is presented to an individual whose work with On Point has made a difference in the lives of our students. Congratulations to the NAACP Rome President, NAACP New York State Conference Executive Board member, and NAACP Western Region Educational Chair, Jacqueline Nelson. Jacqueline has worked tirelessly in the service of our students and others, and to promote justice for all. She's been an amazing partner to On Point for College. Wow, all of these community leaders and organizations have played such an important role in forwarding On Point's mission of transforming the lives of our students. Congratulations to this year's awardees, and thank you all for your support. If any of you would like to learn more about giving back to or volunteering with On Point, you can do so at onpointforcollege.org. In the meantime, here's Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield Regional President Eve Vanderwall to talk about her experience as an On Point volunteer.
Hi, I'm Eve Vanderwall, Regional President for Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I'm honored to join you today. The work performed by On Point for College to break down barriers to education is vital to the success and well-being of our communities. I've had the privilege of working with On Point students in various ways, including being a mentor, and I continue to be impressed by their remarkable achievements. The message I always share is if you continue to challenge yourself and take advantage of opportunities for education, you can achieve your goals. Congratulations to all those being recognized today. And I'd like to encourage everyone to explore the many rewarding volunteer opportunities at On Point for College, where you can help students reach their full potential.
Now let's get back to the awards. Our final category of awards goes to our graduate stars. These are On Point for College students who have graduated and embarked on careers or, in many cases, advanced degrees. They are passionate about their communities and giving back. Our first graduate star is Luis Beatriz. Luis came to Utica from El Salvador. He balanced earning his degree in electrical service technician from MVCC with working a full-time job. Luis received support from On Point with enrolling at MVCC, applying for financial aid, scholarships, and in looking for a job. His perseverance has paid off. Luis landed a position with Withcraft, where he has already received several promotions. When he is not busy working, he is a volunteer with On Point for College, helping paying it forward. Our next star is Klur Mu Katre Pa. Klur is a Karen refugee from Burma who was valedictorian of her graduating class at Utica Academy of Science. With support from On Point, she earned degrees from Herkimer College and SUNY Poly. Klur is now helping others through her work at the Resource Center for Independent Living. She also acts as a volunteer interpreter for medical appointments. Next, we have David Jordan, a 2022 graduate of Hamilton College, where he now also works. On Point provided support to David through one-on-one advisement, an internship, a laptop, and various college supplies. When not working, David volunteers with the Junior Frontiers program. Our next star is Olive Sand. Olive received her associate's degree from MVCC and a bachelor's degree from Houghton College. On Point for College provided support to Olive throughout every step of her college journey. Olive now gives back as a volunteer at Tabernacle Church and she has also done mission work abroad. Our final graduate star is Tabo Bo, who with support from OnPoint earned a degree in cybersecurity from Utica University this year. Tabo is the founder of Nomadic Voices, showcase for creative arts of all kinds. Tabo expresses his personal creativity through music, poetry, and dance. He received the 2022 United Way Mohawk Valley Heroes Award in recognition of this project and his other community service activities. Wow, what an impressive group of graduates. It makes me so proud to call them a part of my On Point for College family. On Point for College is really like a giant family. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, they welcome you with open arms. Our final story, which is sponsored by Adirondack Bank, features On Point for College and Mount Holyoke College graduate Kay Klo. After graduating and completing a Fulbright scholarship in Thailand, Kay returned to Utica, where she joined the Midtown Utica Community Center. In 2021, she was promoted to the Executive Director of MUCC, also known as MUC, and appointed to the Board of Trustees for the Herkimer Oneida Community Foundation.
My name is Kay Klo. I graduated from Mount Holyoke College in 2020 with an anthropology major, and I am the Executive Director of the Midtown Utica Community Center. So here at the Midtown Utica Community Center, we connect our refugee community with various resources as well as educational after-school programming. I think a lot of people are starting to recognize the importance of having a community space where especially refugee communities can access. MUC is a very multicultural space and the refugee community can feel safe and welcome. Right now we're looking to be sustainable and we want this community center to be able to exist for many, many years even after I'm not here.
Since Kay arrived at MUC, so many things have changed. She's really been able to enhance what we do. Her relationships with people in the community and the fact that she is from the refugee community has really helped bring new people in and change the way that we do things. I think there's nothing she can't do.
My family came to America in 2004 and I've lived in Utica, New York ever since then. We are refugees from Burma. Growing up, the elders in our community are always telling us to never forget where we came from. And that has been the main motivation for me to get a higher education and just work really hard in school. I've always been the type of person who's always looking for resources because my parents didn't go through the education system. They weren't able to go to school. They weren't sure how to help me navigate through the education system, and resources like OnPoint were really important. They have staff that are multilingual. They check up on their students. When the students can go to OnPoint and be able to speak in their language with somebody who understands their cultural background and they feel safe to ask whatever questions they have, that's really important. I graduated from Mount Holyoke College in 2020 with an anthropology major. One of the main reasons why I chose to go to Mount Holyoke College was I wanted to be in an environment where women were leaders, change makers, and encouraged to go out and make positive changes in the world. Education opened doors for me, and so going to college, I was exposed to a lot of different opportunities. I was able to teach reproductive health in Ghana, be an English teacher in Japan and Thailand.
I actually did the Japan program with her. The fact that she's teaching people from different culture, like Japanese students and then people in Ghana and then in Thailand, like she has all this cultural background and knowledge that she is able to bring back to MUC as well as the Utica community. I think that really speaks values to like her skills, her passion, and giving back to her community.
Being in this position as the executive director, I kind of see my life as coming into a full circle because I've always wanted to pursue a career that would allow me to give back, especially to the refugee community. Just because I was able to go away for college, was able to get education, and was able to access so many opportunities, I wanted that opportunity for the people in my community. OnPoint was definitely a part of the village that shaped me into who I am today, to understand myself in the world, where I need to go, and the kind of work I want to do in order to create a world that's better for the next generation.
What a heartwarming story about the importance of helping others. It's so great to see On Point graduates like Kay become leaders in our community. When I first joined On Point, I had no idea how many of my fellow students were immigrants or refugees. On Point has been working with this population almost since the beginning, at least since the Lost Boys came over from South Sudan in the early 2000s. On Point helps so many different kinds of people, young, traditionally college-age people, and older people looking to go back to school, people who have children or who have been involved with the criminal justice system, people who live with their families, and people who have been a part of the foster care system. They also work with people from both urban and rural communities. In fact, On Point actually serves a 6-county region in New York State. So anybody who lives in Cayuga, Herkimer, Madison, Oneida, Onondaga, or Oswego counties, they're all eligible to join On Point for College. And you know what else? On Point for College is free, like 100% totally free. All you have to do is reach out and sign up. Doesn't matter if you have a plan yet, are still exploring, already in school, or even thinking about going back to school after already having started, they will work with you. And they've already worked with thousands of people from our community. I think that at any given time, they're working with about 3,000 students who are currently enrolled in college or some other type of certificate or training program. They're able to do it because of some really generous people that help them out. On Point for College receives support from companies, foundations, community groups, and even regular people just like you and me. And there's tons of ways to help. On Point accepts donations, they have events like golf tournaments that people can attend, and they even accept volunteers. It's amazing, really, what a powerful impact individuals can have on a program like On Point and on the lives of students like me. Volunteers, donors, without people like them, the incredible work On Point does just wouldn't be possible. As an On Point for College student, I just have to say thank you. Just thank you, and I so appreciate having had the opportunities made possible by On Point's generous supporters. And before I pass you over to the man who's been at On Point almost since the beginning, employee number 2, I just want to say thank you to my audience. You have been so wonderful, and it's been my pleasure to share your time today. I also want to say thank you to our event sponsors. Now, on to Sam.
Hello, I'm Samuel Rouser, Executive Director of On Point for College. Thank you for sharing your time with us today, and thank you to all of our event sponsors, especially Adirondack Bank, Herkimer College, Mohawk Valley Community College, Bank of America, Bank of Utica, Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, and SUNY Polytech Institute. At On Point for College, we measure our success by the success of our students. Our goal is that On Point alum complete the program feeling empowered and with the credentials to help them achieve their goals and ready to become contributing, engaging members of our community. The students and alumni that you met today are just the tip of the iceberg. Investing in On Point for College is investing in their futures and the future of Central New York and the Mohawk Valley communities. We encourage you to learn more about the On Point program and to get involved at onpointforcollege.org. With your support, together we can build the next generation of On Point for College success stories. And remember, at the end of the day, we always tell everyone to keep it on point.